This comment is so real, and we do not talk about it enough. There's a reason for that, and it's because the billion-dollar vendor marketing machine doesn't want you asking questions. They sell you these AI or SaaS software dreams, and then all of a sudden you're locked into a contract you can't get out of without selling your firstborn child. You don't even own your own IP when it comes to customizations or integrations. And then they ghost you, and you're kind of left with this software mess that now is going to cost you a ton of money to try and fix. Now, before we all lose our minds, software vendors are not monsters. It's important to consider they're not selling us SaaS software out of the goodness of their hearts. They have bills to pay, quotas to hit, investors to please, so they have an agenda. You just need to be super aware of that agenda. So how do you avoid this? And this is something I do all the time as being provider agnostic. Our firm, we don't care what software you buy as long as it works for you. So a lot of times we're looking through these contracts and have an acutely aware knowledge of how they try and trick you. Moving to SaaS is sometimes, yes, better for the customer, but it's mostly better for the vendor's bottom line because they're selling you expensive licenses as well as subscription-based business model. So it's really helping their profitability as a business. It's better for them, not better for you. And a perfect example of this is the movement from an ECC on-premise system for SAP to their S/4HANA platform. There's a reason they gave you a crazy deadline of 2027 and then solved their own problem by launching Rise into the marketplace. It's all about making more money from you. So first, let's talk about the trap that is the contract. I don't use that word lightly. It is an absolute trap. It's like being a billionaire and signing a marriage license with no prenup. There is an appalling amount of sneaky language in there, whether it's around auto renewals or licenses your second year or vague uptime promises and no clarity around what you actually own. And I've had clients that have a custom integration, have no idea that they don't actually own that custom integration. It's owned by their SI. So they're locked in to this relationship for the rest of the future of their business because they don't own that integration. If they want to break that integration, spend the money to rebuild it, then they can get a new vendor, but that's expensive and a lot of headache. Even if you're a Fortune 50 business, you need to have a specific ERP or SaaS contract attorney look at these. Even if it's not an attorney and it's just your consultant that knows where these things are hidden, but they are one of the trickiest things I've ever seen to navigate in business. You need to be fully aware of that. Another trap I see clients fall into all the time is not understanding their total cost of ownership. You don't have to move to the cloud. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, the cloud, right, is going to help you be more efficient, but it totally depends on your business model. But a lot of times when you move to the cloud from an on-premise position or a hybrid type of setup, you don't understand how much it's going to actually cost. We see this all the time in what I call marketing fraud from our AI vendors, because what we actually see is $19.99 per user a month, when that's not true whatsoever. Then we see the data fees, the usage caps, the premium support tier, the API limits. All of these different things is a way for them to nickel and dime you into spending thousands a month on this $19.99 a user. Total lie. One other trap I see all the time is the confusion between innovation and isolation. And what I'm talking about there is getting a new innovation from a new vendor, right? And a lot of times you're going to be one of the first to implement this new specific AI module, and that is just such a huge mistake. In that situation, you're not a customer, you're an unpaid test. We always say, if you are a legit business and you're trying to implement AI, talk to an established vendor. That way you know during the implementation, they're just not going to ghost you and never talk to you again. You're stuck with this expensive software that you're locked into a contract around. You can't actually use it. If you guys have seen this firsthand, I'd love to share your experience in the comments, because I think the more that we talk about this and normalize this conversation, the more businesses won't fall into this trap. We can build an ERP software burn book.